Hello, freedom champions, liberty lovers, peacemakers, movers and shakers around the world. What's going on? Hey, David Rodriguez here. Welcome to Anarchapulco TV. We're going to be talking about freedom today. Of course, you're home for the world's most epic liberty conference coming up soon next year. But just want to give you the weekly update, tell you about the stray cat lady. You might have heard about this. Self-ownership, freedom versus slavery, and some good news about the early bird extension. So the first part, you guys might have heard of this ridiculous story of a lady in Ohio who was sentenced to 10 days in jail, not for violence, but for feeding stray cats. So this is an incredibly sad story and just a demonstration of how immoral the state really is to throw grandma, 79 years old, into jail for feeding cats. And I don't know if you looked at this story this past week, but she had, the neighbor had moved out and left some cats around there. So I'm curious what you guys are able to perceive, because in a stateless society, what we are advocating for, where there's no third-party coercive criminal organization that forces you to do things, let's say in a voluntary village or a simply peaceful city, how would you deal with this? So let's take, for example, you're in her shoes or the neighbor's shoes, and your neighbor keeps feeding these cats, and the cats keep coming and they, piss and poo everywhere, and it's just a terrible situation. So if you can't call the cops and say, or the animal warden, as her neighbors did, say, hey, come get this lady, she keeps on feeding cats, what can you do? I mean, really, because as we build this voluntary world, as we build these intentional, peaceful cities and villages and tribes, or whatever you want to call them, this will be an issue, right? So what would you do? I want you to put in the comments, how would you resolve a neighbor who's feeding cats or wild animals? And whether you're, 50 feet away or 300 feet away, you don't want to have these things going on there. What would you do? Because if you think about it, I don't want to use violence on grandma. But if I'm in a situation, I'm just taking the kind of the position of the neighbor, I don't want all these animals around. So, I don't know all the answers. And, as someone who's voluntarist or voluntarist, freedom lover, anarchist, whatever the term you use, we don't know all the answers, and we don't have to know the answers. The most important answer is violence is not the solution, right? Using coercion or threats. My gosh, putting grandma in jail for 10 days. Who's going to stand by and watch? Well, many people, unfortunately, because they've been demoralized, sadly, through the school systems and the media. And so they don't know what to do other than sit there and just wait for some authority to take responsibility. And this is where the important part is, that you are the authority, right? So self-ownership is one of the key principles, for freedom and anarchy and statelessness, is who owns your body, right? And this is one of the questions that Jeff Berwick, the founder of Anarchapulco, constantly asks frequently at other conferences that I've heard a couple times. I said, that's the question. So he was at this one conference, I think it was last year. He said, so how many of you guys own your body? And by the reaction, it was a small percentage of the room, because he was at a statist conference. And he says, okay, but how about for the rest of you guys? Who owns you? Right? Who owns your body? And this is an important realization for us as we're on the evolution process. We are evolving from thinking that the state owns us, or thinking that somebody else, who? Our parents, or who owns us? So it's a fundamental question. And so when you're talking with people, or even talking with yourself, who owns you? Who owns this body, this flesh? Because the real issue, or one of the real issues, is, are you a free or are you slave? And this is what the whole Declaration of Independence was. And even the people, trying to get free, of course, those founding fathers weren't perfect, and they had a lot of flaws, and their morality was a little bit maybe relative, which is why we're trying to help this community and this world evolve beyond the statist doctrine of coercion, or that they magically have the right to charge you taxes or steal your money, or property taxes or civil asset forfeiture. Where do they get this right? They don't. There's certain unalienable rights, and that is your life and your liberty and your property. So the question of freedom versus slavery is, if slavery is 100% the state taking your money or some owner taking your money, right? That's slavery, 100%. At what point is it not slavery? What if they give you, they only take 1%, or they take 5% or 20%, but they give you 80%? Are you now no longer a slave? I mean, this is the real conversation. So what do you think about this? Like, in order to be free, it seems we have to be able to keep all of our money. And that's why this conference and this conversation, this community is growing. People want to be free. They don't want forced vaccines. They don't want forced schooling. They don't want all these high taxes. I mentioned civil asset forfeiture. Have you seen these stories too, where like the cops pull over somebody and they just happen to be traveling or moving and they have like $20,000 to cash or $50,000 in cash, or they have a cash business, and the cops just take their money. I mean, that's absolute slavery and tyranny, and that's happening right now. So we got to get free, you know? And so these are the ideas we're going to be talking about continually through this week, these weekly updates and at the conference, so you can break free of these ideas that somebody else owns you. So that's what's going on today. And then the early bird got extended, just so you know. So we were going to end it the July 31st, but we're still waiting on some of the speakers to confirm. We did get some nice verbals from really cool people. I mean, I can't wait to share with you some of the people who are coming, because we're hoping to shake the world, man. Shake up the digital world, the real world, with these ideas that we don't need permission. As long as we respect the other person's property and their person, we don't cause harm, then we can do what we desire. And this is, you know, even like what the Bill of Rights was supposed to do, was supposed to limit the state, right? The freedom of speech and the bear arms and these things, no unreasonable searches and seizures. That's what it was for, you know, 200 years ago. So it's time for us to transcend and move beyond some authority that can tell you to do some stuff, right? That you didn't agree to, right? So you have to be able to, if you sign a contract, now that makes it a law or something that is something binding for yourself. But you're not born owing anybody anything, right? And actually, I want to read something that I didn't read last week about Evolve. If you guys got the email, you might have seen this, but just kind of a little bit of some words to help us see a better future here. So here we have the words is, it's time to evolve beyond the state. It's time to evolve beyond disempowering beliefs. It's time to evolve personally. It's time to evolve globally. We can feel the tension in the air. We can feel the discomfort inside our minds and bodies. Something needs to change. The moment humanity has been waiting for is here. Anarchy is about to take the global center stage and liberate the people. We can build a peaceful world if we evolve. We can stop wars if we evolve. You can have a healthy, more fulfilling life if you evolve. It requires inner and outer work, but you can do it. We can help each other. So that's the end of it right there. So you might have seen that in the email. And this really is the new paradigm, right? We're not talking about left, right, Republican, Democrat, even Libertarian Party. No, God bless all those humans that are there. But the idea of using coercion is just a really, it's old idea. Come on, man. Like, if we were riding horses, and had little carts, that idea might be helpful. But it's time for us to grow. And we're looking for you in the community to help out, So if you want to get involved as an affiliate, one of the benefits is that you can get a 10% commission, and you give 10% discount to the person who bought a ticket from you, right? So because we're going with these great ideas of freedom and self-ownership, the state doesn't like this. So we actually need your support. And, these questions too, like the cat lady, what are you going to do? How do we solve this problem? Your comments can actually help the community. Your comments about freedom and slavery. How about this one? Did you see in the debate where, I didn't watch the debate. I just saw some of the highlights. Marianne Williamson, she's like a self-help, kind of spiritual guru. I actually met her. She's a nice lady. But just politics is terrible. But anyway, she's like, there should be $500 billion of reparations for slavery. And it's like, how would that work? Like, I agree, slavery is freaking terrible, but you're going to take money today, you're going to steal money through taxation and pay the descendants of slavery, and that's going to be moral, or that's going to be a correct solution to it? I don't think it is. So what do you think? Is that going to be a good thing or bad thing? Because definitely slavery is terrible, but how to resolve it today? I think how you resolve it is you stop slavery today. Well, remove all types of coercive, restrictive, controlling things that would make the individual do things that they don't want to do. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on that one. And then the tickets did get extended, so get your early bird tickets. Super low price, only like $3.95. And then, like I said, if you do the affiliate deal, you get a discount there. And then comment on the cat lady and get involved. You know, there's a Anarchapulco group. We're on Twitter at Anarchapulco, Instagram, and you can go around, click around, and participate in the conversation with evolution, freedom, and empowering the individual. So thanks for joining us today. You guys are awesome people. Seriously, man, you guys really are the visionaries and the people who we're looking to help expand these ideas of freedom and beyond a third-party organization. You really guys are the ones. We're so grateful you're part of the community, and we're looking forward to having a great event with you. And each week we're going to have new updates, have some news updates. And if you have some ideas of what you might want me to speak about, put them in the comments, because we're really here for you, and we're building this thing so we can have a freer world, a happy world, and healthy world. So we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. My name is David Rodriguez. Thanks for joining Anarchapulco. Peace, love, and anarchy.